Ah, let's talk.
Hi, I'm Lisa Todd. Welcome to this week's end.formants. END.formants. We're going to try to talk about romance and see where else the show will bring us. Remember, it's our world. Let's talk about it. Enjoy the show. Okay, guys, we're talking romance this week on the show. So I'm going to go straight to somebody who we've missed the past month, who I know from the past is a great romantic, Paula. I want to ask you, what is the
That
most
might be a little scary.
what is the most romantic thing you have ever done?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'd have to say, I haven't, I sort of, I've lost touch with my inner romantic child, so it's been a while. Um, Probably when I wrote a song, and I had a lot of stage fright when I was younger, and I still do, but I wrote a song, and I performed it at a crowded piano bar for my girlfriend, and got on my knee and just waxed poetic how much I loved her.
That was very romantic. How long ago was that?
I was in my early 20s, and since I'm only 26,
A
it was a long time ago.
long time ago. Tino, what was the most romantic thing you've ever done?
The most romantic thing I've ever done I guess I'm not very romantic. Just maybe cooking a nice meal for somebody, like a real, like lobster, and I did that whole type of deal with the candles and we had champagne, and
Perna, you
that
rock.
was a nice evening.
Perna, you rock, girl.
Sometimes.
Julie, what was the most
Yeah,
romantic
that was about
thing
20
you've
years
ever
ago.
done?
Well, I've been single for the last 8 years, so I haven't done anything romantic recently, and I'm not really that much of a sentimental person, really. I write romantic comedy, but it's not really based on real life in any way, shape, or form. I just have a very good imagination, but I suppose just staying in and having a nice, quiet night in, if you know what I mean, is quite a romantic thing to do. Just taking things slowly and lots of chocolate, red wine, and dot dot dot.
Everything that would cause a horrible migraine. Jenny, most romantic thing you've ever done?
Well, I saw this lovely, beautiful woman. She had a party. We met online first, but then she had a party, and I went to her party. And for people who were on, it was there's this thing called IRC, which for old people makes sense, but for young people, that's like what the early precursor to AIM, where they made channels and people joined and you could talk to everybody who was on the same channel, and it was text only. So I'd never seen her before, and I went to her house, and she had a line set up for people who weren't able to make her party to so I typed in "Vicky is beautiful," and that was the very first thing I did when I got to her party. And then the next day, and I come back with a flower, and I'm holding the flower up, and I'm looking very happy when she opens the door. And then I hold the flower over, and then I say, "No, you're much more beautiful than this flower. You make it look terrible." And I walk away, and then I do that again the next day with a different flower. And I kept doing that until somehow or another she got this weird idea that I might like her. I don't know. So,
Very good. You should use that in a movie script. You should definitely use that in a movie script. Paula had her hand up.
Well, I'd like to tell you a recent poem that I wrote.
Okay.
Since Julie mentions poetry, and Julie Serious, I'd love to hear some of your stuff sometime. It goes like this: roses are red, you're a whore.
that's so not romantic.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's all relative. That's romantic for Paula now. Now that's romantic for Paula.
Hello? I think that was pretty sweet.
I thought it was very nice. I'd like to borrow that. Can I borrow that?
Anytime.
Okay.
Please, actually, I have a topic that if we can discuss it at some point during our show.
And what is that?
My friend brought up an interesting question to me yesterday. We were just talking about what, love and what people would do for each other. And she brought up, would you die for your partner? And I posed that on my Facebook page, and I was pleasantly surprised, I guess, that there are a lot of people out there that would take a bullet for their partner, where I would use her as a human shield. But
so that is a very interesting, that's pretty interesting. So let me ask you, Tina, would you die for your partner?
I think that I would not be thinking that I would die for my partner, but I would certainly do whatever I could to. I would probably end up taking a bullet. I probably would.
I could see that, Perna, for sure.
Julie, would you die for your partner?
Well, I don't have one at the moment, but I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation, probably what was going on. But I do remember when I was living in a dodgy part of London, walking home on my own late at night, and I was in a relationship at the time with someone who I really, really loved, and he really, really loved me. And I remember thinking, if I get murdered right now, which was a possibility, I was in a dodgy place.
Right.
I felt really sad for him. I thought he was being so sad that I was dead. And I know that sounds like a really weird thing for me to be thinking, but I loved him that much that I didn't want him to feel that pain of me being brutally murdered. So I suppose that's kind of unconditional love in a way, is that I wasn't necessarily thinking about my own fear of being murdered. I was thinking about how he would respond, which is how my parents would respond as well,
Right.
But yeah, that was quite beautiful. And then we fell out of love with each other, ended up hating each other, and now we don't speak to each other anymore.
That's pretty shitty. Jenny, would you die? Would you die for V?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm just asking questions this week. I'm in the clear. Paula has her hand up.
If I was on a lifeboat with all of my friends and we were sinking, I'd throw them over and say, love you bunches. No. Actually, I would probably, with certainty, there's some friends that I would die for sure. I'd die for you, Lisa.
I would die. I would die for certain friends under certain circumstances, and certain partners under certain circumstances, and yeah.
What about your pet?
My pets in a minute.
I would die for my dog for sure.
In a minute. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And you know what? My niece and nephew, I would definitely die for them.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I have to say, when I was younger, in my 20s, the same woman that I wrote the song for, I know she would have died for me. But then at the end, she wanted to kill me, so I don't know. It kind of balanced each other,
There you go. Okay, so, what is the best romantic song in your opinion? Paula, what do you think is the best romantic song?
Tubular Bells from The Exorcist.
That's on my playlist too.
That is beautiful. It makes me feel so warm inside when I hear it.
Julie, it's just for you.
Oh, thank you. It's my uncle write it with me.
Tina, what is your favorite romantic song? The most romantic song? Tina, you're looking very hot today, I have to say. Your outfit, your red, is popping.
Well, yeah, you can also see.
No, but now you're stuck on the screen and everybody can see it. Don't do that again.
Anyway. I won't. Trust me. I haven't been able to color my hair. But anyway, what was the question, Lisa?
The most romantic song.
My favorite song. Right now, my most romantic song right now, which has special meaning for me, is the song I Run to You by Lady Antebellum.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But that has special meaning, so.
It's alright. Do you think it's the most romantic song at the moment? Julie, most romantic song.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Dylan has written quite a lot of romantic songs. If I had to choose, I would say Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands, which took up the whole of side 4 of Blonde on Blonde. And it's just like a 12-minute beautiful poem to his then wife, Sarah. And yeah, it's just got some of the most amazing imagery in it, and it's really, really beautiful.
Jenny, most romantic song?
I don't know.
Okay.
Helpful, aren't I?
I have to say that I think one of the most romantic songs out there is actually the song The Dance by Garth Brooks. And I'm not a big country person. Paula has her hand up. Paula.
Okay, actually, I'll tell you what song that I think is a good guideline for being in a relationship, and I guess the person we would all aspire to be with, that Jenny probably already luckily has. Tell me if I'm right. It's a song that my friend told me about, and I was so touched by the lyrics. It's Reba McEntire's "Consider Me Gone," and if I can read the chorus to you?
Please do.
Okay. It goes, "If I'm not the one thing you can't stand to lose, if I'm not that arrow to the heart of you, if you don't get drunk on my kiss, if you think you can do better than this, then I guess we're done. Let's not drag this on. Consider me gone."
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. I like that. I like that lyric.
I mean, why settle for anything less, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why I've been single for 8 years.
And I was going to say, and that's why I haven't made the concessions that need to be made as well, you know. Okay, so what about best romantic movie or scene, or, you know, what do you think the best romantic, I'm going to start with you, Julie. The best romantic movie or scene?
Well, it has to be the end of Casablanca, doesn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
I feel like I'm welling up just talking about it.
Well, you're a good actress.
Aww.
You did that last week, too.
It's very beautiful. So, and such sophisticated filmmaking in those days as well, you know, compared to sort of like the MTV special effects stuff that we have these days. It's a really beautiful film anyway, and then it ends like that, and it's just so perfect. And it's one of those films that really stays with me after I finish watching it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm crying for a long time. Beautiful.
What about you, Jenny?
You know that scene where I think it's called "Say Anything" or something like that.
Yes,
where
yes.
He's holding the
Right, the boombox.
boombox. Thank you.
Yes, that's what your partner said too. Your partner put on the Facebook page. Tina, what's your favorite romantic movie and or scene?
Is she frozen?
She's frozen. Nope, she's saying
asking me?
yes, Tina.
Yeah.
That would be you. I'm talking to the brick wall behind you.
Well, apparently you are, because I didn't hear you. Sorry, the computer went. Okay, my favorite romantic movie would have to be The Notebook, hands down, because it's just beautiful. It really is. It's a great, great love story. But on a different spectrum, I have a favorite scene that is it's from Bridget Jones's Diary.
Right.
And it's the end, where she stops their kissing finally, and she says to him, "Wait a minute, nice boys don't kiss like that." And he says, "Oh, yes, they fucking do." I just love it. I love it.
You need to do that in an English accent.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes, they fucking do.
Very good.
Wait a minute. Nice boys don't kiss like that.
Paula,
There we go. I love it. It's very real to me.
your favorite movie, your most romantic movie and or scene?
Well, I love The Notebook also. I love that movie. Serendipity with John Cusack.
I've seen that.
I thought that was great.
Yes.
I just love that no matter what, they just kept finding each other, and it worked out. And Gosh, that's a tough one. And I guess Fools Rush In, which is kind of like a romantic comedy.
I love that. I love that movie with Matthew Perry and oh God, what's her name? The Penelope Cruz's best friend. Right? Yes,
but I'll
yes.
tell you something. I love Serendipity because I'm really of the belief of love conquers all, and no matter what, if you love somebody, you just grab them and you make it work.
I guess I've never loved somebody all that much then. Honestly.
Well, Lisa, you know what? I'll tell you. I give you kudos for not just because there's too many people, especially, I have to say this, in the lesbian community that after one date they're married and the second date they have 3 cats. It's just they rush into things. So I give you kudos for not rushing because I've known you for a million years and you're not a rusher. And I think that's great. And
I'm not a rusher.
I mean, I've stayed single for 12 years, 13 years at a time because if I'm not, first of all, for me to be attracted to somebody, it takes forever. But you know, I won't settle for less. I want it all. And if somebody's not gonna live those lyrics for me with a Reba McEntire song, they don't deserve me. That's how I look at it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I gotta tell you, my most romantic scene, just because I feel really strongly about this, and I kind of took my breath away when I saw it years ago, and this week I had a hard time sleeping, but I wanted something that I enjoyed watching, at least in the background. So I got back into the old Queer as Folk from Our Country. You guys started it over there, Julie, and I've seen the 2 seasons, but we had 5 seasons of it. And the first time I saw the scene at the prom with Brian and Justin, has anybody else seen the show? It's now 10 years old, but anyway, where where they dance at the prom, and it was like an old-fashioned dance between 2 men, but it was so beautiful and so romantic. It actually made me cry. So I'd have to say that scene was a scene. Go ahead, Paula.
Well, I just have a question because I noticed, I think we have 4 gay women on this panel. Am I right?
Yes.
Or 3?
No, 3. 1, 2,
Well,
3.
we have one that won't be labeled.
Okay, so we have 3. Okay, so most of us are sisters on the panel. So let me just ask you the questions, and it's a good mix because we have both straight and gay. I've noticed that like women tend to just want relationships more, and I don't know, or I should say lesbians are just jump real fast into relationships. They jump. Yet I wonder if it's just a female thing, or if it's no. Because
Tina,
I don't know. I have straight friends that are more discerning, and also another thing is just like lesbian, and maybe this is across the board with gay relationships. I've noticed that when I have a girlfriend, my relationship isn't as respected to, you know, obviously in society by straight people. And what I mean is I've seen straight male friends of, let's just say, a partner I've dated take more liberties with her than as if she was with a man. If she was with a man, he never would cross that line. But because I'm not physically a man, he will. So I think it's very interesting that it's almost like our relationships are looked at as second class. And I hope that changes one day. And I give major kudos to Perna because I know she's a big supporter of gay rights. Julie, I'm sure you are too, just by hearing the shows that you've done so far. So kudos to you. Hats off to you guys, and I really appreciate the support.
so your question is it just because I don't want, first of all, and I've been very blessed because I have uh I have some great partners that have stayed to share my life as friends now. So I'm very, very blessed. I have been loved more than I have loved. I will say that. And you know, I don't think about loving and sharing my life like I once had dreams of doing. I think that there's moments that you share, and for me, there are people that have lifelong partners like Jenny, my cousin Rick, before he passed away. there are people that have lifelong partners. I have had a few very good, excellent, wonderful people share certain times in my life, but I haven't had the one person share the whole bit. Even though we've remained friends over the course of the years, but I I don't I don't see myself being. I love to be romantic, but I think that also comes with charm, and I think that you could do that on a daily basis with people without really playing with them too much, depending on who it is. But I see your hand up, Paula. But I do see that gay women are almost looking for a way out. It's like the situation. It's almost like we move in dog years, and
I always say that. It's true.
and it's sad because I don't move that quickly, and I never have. And I've probably had good people leave my life because they've not been that way. But I've always been a writer, and I've always needed my own time to make my own sanity. Otherwise, you don't want to deal with me, because I'm miserable. So I don't know, Julie. What do you think about Paula's question? Do you find with your gay friends and/or your straight friends that they move in a direction that's different?
Gay men definitely seem to not be drawn so much to relationships, I think, from my experience. It seems to be quite physical, coming together, super punch, and then parting. But there obviously are gay men in relationships as well. I know a female gay couple who are together at the moment in a relationship, but I don't think they rush into it particularly. For me personally, I am very fulfilled in my life, and I love people and I'm loved by people, and so I don't feel like I need to go out looking to fill a hole.
Well, that's true because I think a lot of people do, and it helps define them. And I can't have a partner define me. I think I'm just too, and I don't mean it as arrogance, but I've never believed that a partner should define me. I've always felt like we should have a life together, but also have your friends, and I'll have my friends. And it's always seemed to work out. We never broke up for any reasons like that. Paula has her hand up. Paula.
No, Lise, what I was going to say is thumbs up. I agree. I've had too many relationships with possessive women that have, I mean, one basically told me to give my friends up. Another one just hated all my friends and made it so uncomfortable for me to see them that I stopped. I'd never do that again. I don't really care if you like my friends, but I'm blessed with just heroes and angels as friends, and respect my alone time with them. And I have a real issue with people that don't have friends. If you're not capable of having and maintaining at least three close friends, to me you're too self-absorbed and too self-centered. I don't really want you as a partner. And I'm telling you guys, there's such a correlation with that. For some reason, I'm like a magnet for like self-centered women, and I don't know what it is. And then I always wonder, well, I didn't pay attention to the red flags. They hardly have any friends.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always excuses to why they don't have friends. It's by choice, or it's because they've been burned by friends. But the fact is, if somebody can't, because let's be honest, friendship is a two-way street, and you have to really give to be a friend. You got to give. And people that aren't capable of giving, they're not going to give to you in a relationship.
I agree. And I also find that if people don't have friends that they've had for like a decent amount of time,
Yes.
and if people aren't talking to family members, I mean there are red flags, but here's the thing,
Lisa, let me just say one thing about the family thing, okay? I'm sort of estranged from my family. I tried, but when it's dysfunctional, you can't judge somebody. But I'll tell you something. I have a rule. If I meet a woman and she doesn't have like at least one friend that she's been close with 10 or more years, that's a giant red flag to me. That speaks to self-centeredness.
Okay. Well, let me just say that you mentioned your niece and your nephew. So it's not all your family members that.
No, it is. At least it is. Although we're estranged, I would still die for them, but we're estranged.
Okay. All right, because I see that, I found that with people, if they don't have any kind of I want to say any kind of validity to, their character. And I don't date, and I haven't, I really have never really dated except in the 20s. But I like, I hang out with people that I like. And if something becomes of that, because here, as you're hanging out with somebody, they stub their toe, you're going to see how they react. When you date somebody, I don't think it's always like somebody putting their best foot forward. Ultimately, you're going to fucking
Even
trip.
with a stub toe, they're putting their best foot forward.
So I don't date. I'm not into that. Let me see you for who you are, because ultimately the shit comes out. Tina, you're laughing. What's funny?
I'm thinking of everything, like going back to where Paula had said about friends not respecting female, like with a lesbian relationship. I have a male friend who made a comment to lesbian friends of mine. He asked one of them for a lap dance. Now, if it were, say, me and a guy, he wouldn't say that to me.
Absolutely.
But I looked at him, I said, she's a lesbian, not a stripper, you idiot. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, that's no respect and no regard for somebody. Paula has her hand up. She's going to tell you exactly what it is.
I'm gonna blow your mind, guys. I dated a woman. Okay, a woman. So hence, obviously, she had to be leaning towards a little bit of a lesbian, and she would just go off making fun of my lesbian friends and saying she just didn't understand why I was friends with lesbians and they're so awkward and I must just be one of those crazy lesbians. Duh, you're sleeping with me, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I would have checked that out before I was sleeping with her, but these girls have been quiet. Julie, you're quiet. You're not allowed to be. Say something. What's your response to any of this?
I don't know. I'm quite overwhelmed with this whole conversation thing.
Okay, what about Jenny? Jenny's very quiet. Jenny.
Okay, true story. Vicky and I are at a party together, and this person who I had talked to online comes over and makes a few verbal passes at me, and it's a party. I figure just joking around, I am flirtatious back, and then this person leans in and kisses me. And Vicky pushes this person away and puts her arm around me. And this person looks at Vicky's arm, looks at Vicky, then leans in and kisses me again. I kid you not.
Well, that's not cool.
Jenny, was this a woman?
Was it
this is a person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, because I think what Paula was going to say and what I'm going to say is there are men that really just don't have a lot of respect, or they figure that they could. I mean, there's a lot of ego in there, where they feel like you haven't met the right guy or they're man enough or whatever the hell it is. Paula, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to ask this to Jenny, Lisa, and I already know the answer to this. Most men don't believe there's such a thing as a lesbian. They really believe that if they could change you, they can convert you. Okay? Do we not agree with that?
Well, I don't think. I have more.
Not all of them, but I have had some of my straight male friends say the most ridiculous things to me, like they could convert me. Honey, my penis is bigger than yours, so good luck. But I just don't understand that mentality, or that their fantasy of seeing two women together. It's just like,
I have a fantasy of seeing two women together. What's up with that?
I have a fantasy of seeing two wildebeests together, and nobody's honoring that for me.
Jenny might be able to help you out with that. She's got a lot of those animal things on the website.
Oh, Jenny. Come on, Jenny. Hook me up.
Hang on a sec. Tina, what were you going to say?
Okay, but on the other hand, yes, there are men who think, they absolutely think they can change a lesbian. You haven't had the right man.
But there are lesbians that think that they can change some straight women.
Yeah, but I always convert women.
Yes.
problem here?
No desire to do that again.
The difference between a straight woman and a gay woman is a martini. Julie, remember that, because I'm going to give you a martini.
Yeah, well, you two would make such a lovely couple.
So, Tina, you know what? I think that just depends on ego because again, I have a lot of straight male friends that don't cross that line and have never made me feel that way. But this one man in particular, he did, and I think the thing is that he was attracted to me. And it doesn't even have to be because, I've never really found that my first attraction to somebody was physical. It's always been their actions. So, I don't think that people find they can find somebody attractive in their mannerisms. Not doesn't necessarily have to be their looks. It could be other things that bring them in.
No, they have to be hot. They have to be hot.
But I think that I'm very hot. In the same day, actually, I had a female coworker say, "Damn, you're hot." But thanks for killing my ego, Paula. Julie.
I think, come on, you're damn hot. You're damn hot. Hey,
Julie,
what about the straight women that think all lesbians want them just because they're gay? Don't you love those?
There are those.
I don't have that anymore.
I had a boss who looked like Jabba the Hutt tell me she thought I wanted her because I was gay.
I haven't had anybody think that I've come on to them in that way. I don't know. I think I make it clear, but I also don't know, because I tend to put up a wall to make sure that I'm protected, so that they got to feel that wall too, those people.
Yeah, but Lisa, a wall's not good. You're never going to let anybody in that way, baby.
Well, no. What I'm saying is they got to feel that I'm not interested in them, for sure. Because
so she plays the game. In other words, she's
no, I don't play any games. No. What you see is what you get. No bullshit, no lies, no nothing. I'll tell you just how it is. I have no problem with that. But Julie, I've been accused of some shit here. So, what do you think of what Paul is saying? Do you think that men, tend to want a challenge in a lesbian, and where do you think that comes from?
I don't think that they do necessarily. I mean, I haven't really had that experience myself.
Well, you don't label yourself anything either, so.
No, I don't. I mean, obviously, I have male friends and female friends. I don't, from my experience, I don't think that men necessarily don't believe that there's no such thing as a lesbian. I suppose, as you're saying, there's this whole fantasy thing about wanting to watch two women together, which, as you quite rightly say, Lisa, is something that other people can enjoy too. But no, I would say that straight men, straight women, gay women, we're all different, aren't we? And it just depends on the person, maybe. But maybe it's about the society that you live in and the education and acceptance of straight couples and gay couples or whatever. And if it's not particularly common to see two women or two men holding hands or whatever, then it's going to be an alien concept to people, I guess. And so they'll just think, well, that's not normal, and so that heterosexuality is normal, and so therefore I can try to maybe get in there, perhaps.
I think that's all changing, though. I gotta say, and what do you think, Paula and Jenny? I think that anymore that walking down the street, seeing. I mean, we're starting to see commercials now that are same-sex commercials, and the first one that I saw, I kind of looked again because I had done still ads well before it was politically correct, but I saw one of the Subaru commercials, and it was definitely a gay Subaru commercial, and so I think that we're shifting more to understanding that there is a difference in people, and there are minorities that same sex, and I think it's coming more to the forefront, and hopefully it's being more respected. But I think that Paula hit on something earlier when she was talking about how it's almost like a second-rate marriage. Now, I would agree completely with that. That we're not, it's not considered and held to the high esteem that you straight people have made such a great job of making it something that is so special. But Paula had her hand up.
Well, I just have to laugh when people like Newt Gingrich get up there and lecture us on the sanctity of marriage when he's been divorced, like, what, 3 times, and he left his wife with cancer. I mean, it's just really funny to me. But, Lisa, I agree with you that as a country, we've really evolved. I think that, the youth today don't get freaked out when they see, I mean, heck, when my nephew was in high school, my niece they were in high school, they would tell me that there were lesbians walking around holding hands. I was like, cool, rock on. But I think that we don't get the same respect that straight people get, in that a lot of family, look, in parts of the country, you could still get killed for being gay. I mean, I know people that have to stay in the closet because their families are homophobic, their jobs are homophobic. They can't come out because, let's just say they live in I don't know,
Mississippi.
Georgia, in a rural part of, right, and where Tina? Right. What'd you say? Where do you live? Mississippi. I'm sure Mississippi is you have to be careful. And it's kind of scary. I mean, look, South Florida, it's very liberal. Anything, I mean, it's great. I mean, I take it for granted, really do. But, I think that I know that I've been in relationships. I tend to always date women that are either straight or metro straight, that really straddle the line between gay and straight. And I always find myself with these friends of theirs that just act like our relationship isn't real because it's not a hetero relationship, or their family acts like it isn't real because it's not a hetero relationship. And the thing is, what gets me is, I remember I was with a woman years ago. Her ex-boyfriend beat the crap out of her and cheated on her, and I mean, treated her like crap. And then I came along and I treated her like gold, and her father had a problem with the relationship with me. It's like he would rather his daughter be with a wife or a girlfriend beater than somebody who treated her with love. I just don't get that.
Well, I agree that, we don't get the respect, but I think it also depends on the person as well. But I've dealt with I tend not to date straight women. I tend not to date, but I certainly have done the straight woman thing. I would only do that. That was the last time. And religion came into play. And it was that her parents, really were convinced, as well as her being convinced, that she was going to go to hell. And it really had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the fact that she was of I think Argentina, so she was Argentinian. Is that it? Argentinian? Is that it? From Argentina. And Catholic. So I couldn't fight with the religion battle with her, and I had to ultimately say I can't do this anymore, But I think that there's just things that we can't mess with in regards to that, and everybody's got their own demons. But I do think as we're getting older and the world is cultivating that, and then we had that period of time where everybody was trying it out. It was like that phase where everybody was trying it out. So that is definitely.
Were they trying it out? I missed all these.
No, man, about 10 years ago, everybody was experimenting. I'm bisexual. Right, but it was right. But you know what I'm talking about? That big wave that came in, and everybody was bi-curious. That's where the term bi-curious came from. But I always thought that was a crock of shit anyway. You are what you are, and you can't change what you are. So, you love yourself, and you go with it. And then, somebody ultimately says you're pretty hot, and they want to go with it with you, and it depends on how you feel about it. But I know that I would rather be alone than be with the wrong person. So, what was the topic?
We were talking about dating people with children.
I've done that. I have done that, and I have a stepson that is in his early 30s now, but when we got together, he was just turning 11. But we haven't been together for over 20 years. So, but that's all right. I've done it. I wouldn't do it now if they were young children. Tina has her hand up.
Well, I am a single parent and always have been. And I remember my brother told me, "You have a kid now and you will never get married." Well, guess what? I'm 48. Thanks a freaking lot. I've never been married. So maybe he was right.
I don't know. It's interesting. I've got to ask you off air which brother that was. I want to know. But I want to know, Paula, would you date somebody with kids?
Well, I would not. I don't think I'd date anybody with small children. Here's the thing. I did date a woman who had a child with 3 6s on her scalp, so that was a bad experience. And then I dated a woman briefly. I mean, we just dated. It was like a couple dates, like 3 dates maybe.
It's a lesbian lifetime.
Well, if I was a true lesbian, we would have been married. But you know, I move very slowly. I really think like a hetero male. And I have to say that we were out to dinner one night, and her 25-year-old son had her paged at the restaurant to bring him home something to eat, of course, on my dime. And that was the last time we went out. She thought that was okay. I'll tell you something. I don't like drama in my relationship. If somebody has grown children that are out of the house and living on their own and self-sufficient, that's fine. But if mommy has to solve their problems and they bring drama into my relationship, I'm out. I'm gone. Because I'm not going to put up with drama or it's somebody who's a doormat to their children.
Well, Julie, would you date somebody with children, male or female?
No, I wouldn't. When I'm in a relationship, I want that person to be, I want to be the most important, significant other to that person, let's say. And that's not that I want them to be needy or that I want to become dependent upon them. We still have our own independence and our own lives and our own friends. But when it comes to thinking about that special person for them, I would want that to be me. And I don't want to share that with some children, even if they're older, really, because at the end of the day, it's got to be their priority to look after their children. That's true, and I think that's really important. But I won't be the person that they think about as the ultimate.
Well, Paula's got her hand up.
Julie, I just want to respond to that because that's a really valid point. And Lisa, I think that's a great topic too. If we could talk about the desire to be somebody's everything, I think that's a really good topic. But Julie, I have a very close friend that has a son who's in his 20s. And she said something to me once that really resonated. I asked her once, who comes first, your partner or your son? And how do you balance that? And she said, they both come first. I love them equally. And let me tell you, she treats her partner. We should all be so lucky to have somebody like her that treated us like this. Her partner is her everything. So it can be done. I think it's very rare. I've been with women that don't have kids and I'm not their everything. So I think that if you find someone that thinks you hung the moon, even if they have kids, they will never fail in letting you know that. And I think it can work. So don't just shut out people because they have kids, because I think there are people out there that will be making you their everything.
Well, I've got to say something about the everything thing. I don't want to be somebody's everything. I don't want to be that responsible. I don't want somebody to be my everything. They shouldn't have to be that responsible. I don't think that a partner should have the expectations to become somebody's everything. I don't agree with that at all. I don't want to be somebody's everything. Paula, what do you say about that?
I want to be somebody's everything, but I don't want them to be mine.
Okay.
No, seriously, I'm with Julie. Listen, I mean, to me, love is the one thing in this universe that is the most precious gift that anybody can have. When you're with somebody, you should feel like the moon is brighter and the flowers smell sweeter.
But that doesn't make them your everything.
Wait a minute. If I believe that when you're with somebody, they should think you that they should think you hung the moon, and you should be their everything. And if you're not each other's everything, you're with the wrong person.
I gotta disagree. But Jenny's got her hand up.
You're a naysayer.
Jenny's got her hand up. Jenny.
Well, speaking as someone who has found a pretty good, wonderful, significant other, I could tell you that before I met Vicky, I had a laundry list of what I wanted in a person, and it was 6 miles long. And Vicky did not meet all of those criteria. For example, Vicky has never played the guitar in her life, and one of the things on my list was someone who could play the guitar. But, you know, the thing was that, you know, when I saw what was right for me, I was willing to let go of all of the other things and say, this works. And it did work. I mean, we got legally married in 1996. We moved in together in 1995.
Well, my question is she your everything?
Absolutely. I don't know what I would do without her now.
I want somebody that plays the ukulele.
Good luck. You could get that.
Tina's like.
I need to wait. I just need to clarify something because I'm with you, Lisa, on what you with your philosophy as well. I think first you have to be your own everything, and then be each other's. Because I don't want some needy, codependent, clingy person that like I can mow down. I don't want to be able to bulldoze anybody. I have a very strong personality. I don't want somebody who's going to be my puppet or kiss my ass. I want someone who's going to stand up to me and have their own mind, because if you don't, that's a major turnoff.
But but also, you know, the thing is that, you know, I think that, you know, I've been in past relationships where I have had that responsibility. And you know what? I wasn't responsible for hanging the moon, and I wasn't responsible for it not showing up either.
But
So
what do you mean, Lisa, responsibility? Like, explain your.
If you're having a shit day, and I'm having a shit day, you know, allow me to have my shit day. Allow me to have my flaws. Allow me to have my failures. Allow me to have the time where I don't feel 100%. Allow me that. Not only that, but I think that, and this says a lot because this past week has really been shit for me. And one week I woke up not feeling well besides not sleeping. And I thought, you know, I really feel uncomfortable as far as how I was feeling. Do I want somebody here? And I said, I only want somebody here to check in and make sure I'm breathing. I don't want somebody trying to make me feel any better because I'd push them away. And my exes would in fact say, she doesn't like anybody around when she's not feeling good. So I want somebody to be able to go out and enjoy the things that I might not enjoy. You know, and that's okay. Bring it home and talk about it. You know, but I don't have to enjoy every single moment. Somebody put up something on Facebook, and I want to say it came from Tina's side, where it said a jealous girlfriend is one that everybody should have a jealous girlfriend because they're one that if somebody's spending time with you, anyway, it made it positive over jealousy, and I wrote, I don't buy that. I've never had a problem with my exes going out and spending time with other people in their life that they got something from that they didn't get from me. Whatever that was. I'm not talking about sexually.
That's not what it meant. That's not what it meant.
Okay, well, my sister agreed with it too, just for the record.
I know. And I don't think she got it right either. Because I didn't take it the way you guys did, but I totally understand what you said because I agreed with you two on the way you took what that said. And it doesn't make sense.
No, I get it. No, that's interpretation. Interpretation, very important.
See, I took it as, because it said if you don't have somebody who gets a little jealous when somebody has your attention, then that means somebody else has their attention. Okay, so that means if I don't get jealous, say I have a boyfriend and somebody's paying attention to him, if I don't get jealous, that's because I have somebody else who's got my attention.
Well, let me say something before. Hang on a second, but let me say something before I say something to Paula. And Paula, I've known Paula for over 30 years now. Or almost. I've known Paula for over 30 years now. I can honestly say that, you know, I'm not a jealous person. I've always encouraged my partners to go out and do things that I don't want to do. And as a writer, there's a lot that I didn't have time to do. So, you know, the first thing, and it always came, I'm a writer before I'm a girlfriend. I'm a writer before I'm a person. Tina will tell you that because Tina's known me even longer. I'm a writer before I'm a daughter. I am a writer first. That comes first for me. So that person needs to find something to do with their time instead of bitching at me for not spending time with them. Because without the writing, I'm not the person that person fell in love with. If I don't have that creative outlet, I'm not the person. So, you know, you got that. Then there it goes with, I see your hand up, Julie. And there it goes with the bit about dating and getting to know somebody. You know, don't bullshit somebody on the first date. Or the first time you spend together. Don't make it that you're somebody that you're not. When they ask questions to get to know you, be honest. You know, the most important thing to me is writing, not fucking somebody. And not even spending my life with somebody. So, that's the most important thing. Would I like somebody to share my life with? Only if they can make my life better. And I don't mean financially. I mean, make my life better at the end of the night where I'm glad to be in your arms. Not that I resent coming in there because you're bitching about me being done writing. So you had your hand up, Julie.
Well, that's not what I meant when I said that I would want to be someone's everything at all. I would hate for somebody to be clingy and dependent upon me, and I would never want to be that for somebody else. I'm also a writer, but I also think it's important to have a balance. So I'm a member of various different communities, and I have friends who I see, and I listen to music and, you know, do various other things away from writing as well. But what's really interesting for me when I think about whether I want a relationship or, you know, who that person is for me is, okay, well, I have friends who I love, and I am special to some of them, and they're special to me. And also there are people who I could potentially have sex with if I wanted to. But when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's something else. It's not just being a friend. It's not just having sex with somebody. There's something else that we call chemistry, which is, you know, it's the clicking of two people together and wanting to protect each other, and you are that special person to the other person. And maybe I've just seen too many Hollywood movies.
It's out there, Julie. It exists.
Yeah, I have felt that myself, and I've been in love, and that person has loved me, and I haven't even looked at anyone else, and I don't know about him. Maybe, but as far as I knew at that time, we just completely were in each other's minds and hearts, and that faded for whatever reason. We both changed. This is when I was in my early 20s, and, you know, obviously you change and you grow. And so we parted, unfortunately. But I do feel that one day I will meet somebody else who ticks certain boxes for me, like you were saying, Jenny. Probably not all of them, but some of them. And there will be something that sparks in me, in my brain, that says, yeah, that person's the one that's really special for however long, who knows, but, you know.
Let me tell you something. My favorite line is... And I'll probably get kicked in the head if any of my exes see it. But my favorite line is, "You are the love of my life at this particular time in my life." So that should tell you about my expectations. And Paula has her hand up.
Well, I understand what Tina was saying about the jealousy thing, and I think a little bit of jealousy isn't necessarily unhealthy in a relationship. But but there's there's a difference between jealousy and possessiveness. Now, I'll tell you something. If somebody really loves you, they will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that they're not making you jealous. And I violate this all the time because I open my mouth and I say inappropriate things to people I'm seeing, and I'm going to stop that because sometimes I don't think before I speak, and I don't realize that I'm causing somebody pain. But if there's a situation and boundaries, I mean, if you have a friend who you know is interested in you, you can't expect your partner not to be jealous or not comfortable with the situation, because I'm sorry, but I'm of the belief that if somebody's interested in your partner, that's an inappropriate friendship. I don't think it's cool. I mean, I know in the lesbian world, a lot of us are friends with their exes. I do, not really in contact. I mean, if I talk to them once a year, Christmas cards kind of thing, but I don't think to have an active friendship with somebody who has ever maybe hit on you, made romantic overtures to you, I don't think that's cool. I think that's very disrespectful in a relationship.
I disagree. I disagree. Wait, I just want to, I have something to say about that.
Lisa, I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Also, as far as being somebody's everything, I think that you need to do that being healthy, meaning I think people move in together way too fast. I think that you should date for at least 5 years before you move in with each other. And when you're dating and you're courting each other, and you're even in a relationship before you move in, I think you should only see each other once a week and on the weekends. I don't think you should be hanging out every single night.
I don't think that there needs to be any kind of plans or guidelines or this or that. I think when it feels right, we know it. But somebody remind me, what was Paula saying where I said, wait a minute, I can't go for that. Oh, as far as the exes, yeah. I gotta say that, Paula, Debbie Johnson from back in the day. And Debbie Johnson, when I was living in Florida 10 years ago...
Yeah, but does she still have feelings for you?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if Debbie has feelings for me somewhere. I certainly, I could say she was the first woman I ever loved. That's not gone away. However, I can say that, she's in a relationship. I respect that relationship, but she is part of one of the little mosaics, as we talked about before, that's in my life that defines me. Quite a few of my exes do. And just because something happened along the way and we couldn't go on sharing our life together in the same house doesn't mean that we're not sharing. I'm friends with Tori. She's in a long-term relationship.
Whoa. That's not what I was saying. This is what I'm saying, okay? If you guys have a strictly platonic relationship and she doesn't harbor feelings for you romantically and you nor her, then I'm not fond. I don't really like the whole being friends with the exes thing. I think a Christmas card friendship is one thing, but I think that's incestuous, but that's just my opinion. But if Julie or Tina, you guys were dating somebody and they had a girlfriend, a female friend, because you'd be dating a guy obviously, and they had a female friend that had feelings for them, would you be cool with that? And this is a friend you were hanging out with alone and talking to on the phone. Would you be cool with that?
No, I definitely would not be cool with that. I would be very unhappy, and I understand these days that men and women can be friends, and
I don't think men and straight women and men can be friends.
I have a very good male friend.
I agree too.
I have a very, very good male friend who has a girlfriend, and we're very good friends, and nothing's ever happened between us, and I don't have any feelings for him anyway. And his girlfriend is accepting of our friendship, but I wouldn't be. If that was my partner, there's no way that I would be fine with that. I would want to know, why are you preferring to spend more time with that woman than me?
Well, wait a minute. Now you're talking about something different. But you're talking about something different, Jenny. You're talking about somebody that would prefer spending time with somebody else over you.
Lisa.
Okay. Paula, go ahead.
To clarify, I think straight men and women can be friends as long as it's platonic and neither one has feelings for each other. But I think that is sometimes it's hard for that to happen.
I think that it's just like straight women gay women having, just being friends. You and I have been friends for years. We've never crossed any lines, Paula. We're just friends. We've never crossed any lines. We used to hang out together back in the day when everybody was doing everybody.
You don't remember the night behind the bleachers?
Everybody was doing everybody. You know.
Guys, we never did each other.
Tina has her hand up. Tina.
I have something to say about men and women being friends and exes. There are 3 exes in my life that I am very, very good friends with, and that I will always be friends with them. And there has been a relationship with each one of them. They're my exes, but those feelings are no longer there.
Wait a minute, Todd. Are you saying you're friends with 3 exes?
Yep.
Oh, hell yes, I am.
My straight friend told me that straight people
and I respect their relationships, and they respect mine. We're friends. We're better friends. We just happen to be better friends than we do girlfriend and boyfriend. And it works. It works for us. Not everyone understands that, and I don't think that can work for just everybody. But we each have a respect for each other, and we respect each other's relationships. And that's the bottom line on that. So
I agree. I think that totally can happen. I don't think that there's anything wrong with me spending time. I mean, I go to DC. Jenny knows this. I go to DC, and I stay at my ex's house, you know, without any issues. And when I had my most recent ex, and we went down there, we stayed there too. And my feeling is this: you know what? Unless I fuck with you, unless I fuck you up, trust me, because that's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a clean slate. Hang on, a clean slate. Clean slate. You give me the clean slate. If I cause you reason to doubt me, hang on. If I cause you reason to doubt me, then okay. But don't make me carry the baggage of your fucking past, because I'm not making you carry the baggage of mine. Tina had her hand up. Tina.
All right. If you were dating somebody, and then you were gonna go stay at your ex's, I don't think that that's right.
Jen had no problem with it. Jen had no problem with it.
Wait a minute. But Tina, wait. So you're saying that doesn't even make sense. So you're saying it's okay to be friends with your exes, but it's not okay for somebody you're dating to stay with their ex?
No. Okay. I'm saying, say I'm dating somebody, okay? Now, say I was going to go visit one of my exes, and I was going to stay at their house. Out of respect for my current relationship, I wouldn't stay there.
I've done it.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Right.
I want to say something.
Go ahead, Paul.
My current relationship felt that was okay.
But let me ask you something, okay? I dated this woman.
I didn't hear you.
Sorry. Okay.
Paul.
Okay. I dated a woman that had a male friend that had made a pass at her, and she was very honest that he had feelings for her, and she never had feelings for him, and they went away together, and they stayed alone in a hotel room. And I trusted her. So I was cool with it. I mean, do you think I was being an idiot?
No, I think that if you trust that person, you trust that person. You know, you want to make somebody your everything, but then you want to put all these stipulations on them that don't make them who they are. Right. And that's the problem that I have with being somebody's everything. And Jenny, who's been in a long-term relationship, has something to say.
Okay. I have a friend. I'm going to call her P because I don't know if she would want her name
fair enough
in the show. Anyway, my friend P and I, we dated way back in the Middle Ages when I was still single. And we dated briefly, and I found her really attractive until I realized that she was a drug addict, and all of a sudden I didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. Sorry, Lisa, I know that's probably doesn't make you happy to hear, but you know.
Why do you say that? Wait a minute, we got to get something clear. We need to get something clear for more. Hang on.
Are you saying Lisa's a drug addict?
Oh, Jenny, wait a minute, Jenny. You need to get your. I want you to please make yourself clear and why are you apologizing to me?
Well, I apologize to you because I know you also had a drug problem in the past. You said that on the show. And so I don't want you to feel like I'm making a pot shot at you, because I'm not.
I don't think that you are. I don't think that you are at all. Not at all.
So anyway, but she was a wonderful person, and she is a wonderful person. But I discovered that she had a drug problem, and as soon as I found that out, I wanted nothing to do with her as a relationship. That just I couldn't deal with that, and I froze her out. I never actually told her what my problem was. I just froze her out till she went and found somebody else. And we didn't speak for a few years. And then when I ran into her again, I was now with Vicky, married. And she was like, well, you know, first of all, she wanted to know, you know, why were you such a jerk? And I actually got around to telling her. And now at this point in her life, she's married, she's a mother, she's fixed her drug problem. And I was like, well, okay, you know, truth be told, this was what the problem was. She was like, oh, well, gee, I wish you told me that. You know, it might have given me reason to get off the drugs. I was like, well, I didn't think of that. I was just a jerk. But then again, obviously, we weren't the right ones for each other. We both wound up okay. But anyway, we became best friends after that. And we're still best friends. And, of course, her husband is now dead, which is terrible. But he didn't have a problem with it when he was alive. Vicky's never had a problem with it. And, you know, the sexual tension is gone. I mean,
that's exactly my point. And the reason why I needed you to tell me why you apologized, I just want to make this clear, and I know Tina knows, is because the same exact thing happened to me. Okay? And and I didn't want my ex to watch the show thinking that I was talking behind her back. So we're gonna leave my ex's name clear in this. But I mean, I don't care what you say about me. I'm here to defend myself. But I certainly didn't want my ex to think that it was something that you were apologizing because I told you I experienced myself.
No, I had no idea about
that about you. And when she seems to be comfortable, so we're gonna nudge her. What do you think about? So you wouldn't be friends with an ex?
Yeah.
And
you know the guy I was talking about earlier that I loved and he loved me so much that I didn't want to be murdered because he would be unhappy.
Right.
So we broke up.
Right.
And then I think there was probably about 3 years of us not really speaking to each other at all. And he moved away to a different country. And then I decided that I wanted to be friends with him. So I called him up and we had a chat and I apologized for being such a bitch to him. And I went over to visit him in the other country. And we actually ended up going on holiday together. And nothing happened. We had a really nice time together. So yeah, you can definitely remain friends with your ex. And
I gotta ask a question.
Okay.
Julie.
Go ahead, Paula.
Julie, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
I was just gonna say we're not friends exactly now. We're friends. You know, we don't have any bad feelings towards each other. And if I met him in the street, I would be like, hi, how are you? So I'm really glad that we cleared that up and that we formed a friendship after our relationship. Because he was so special to me, you know? He was
That's the point that I'm making. Why wouldn't you want to be friends with somebody that you tried to spend your life with if it just didn't work? You know? Yeah. So go ahead, Paula.
Well, Julie, I mean, I have to say thank you to Tina and Julie because I'm very enlightened because honestly, I was just having a conversation with my friend about this and she was telling me how straight people, she was straight, and how straight people just, they don't do that friends with their exes. Only lesbians do that and gay people. So I really, you know, I have to tell you that I'm not comfortable with my partners being friends with their exes, and I don't blame them if they're uncomfortable with me being friends with my exes.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I personally wouldn't want my boyfriend to be friends with an ex or to have a very good female friend. And
So you wouldn't be comfortable, but you want to be able to do it.
Yeah. And it's completely irrational. Yeah, it's completely unreasonable.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm saying not as I do.
Tina has her hand up.
It's unreasonable and irrational. And obviously, if I was in a relationship, we have to have that conversation. And it wouldn't be fair.
See, there's those rules that come with the relationship that I'd like to stay away from. Tina has her hand up.
Okay. As far as a woman, okay, well, for me being friends with my exes, I'm the one who's in control of those relationships. Okay? So I set the standard. This is the way it is. We are no longer together. We're friends. I want you to be a
puppet master.
No. Wait a minute, Paula. What? Wait a minute. You just paused out. What'd you say?
She said that you're a puppet master.
Puppet master. Perna the puppet master.
That's right, chick. But listen, now if I had a boyfriend who was friends with a girl, we all know, and especially in lesbian relationships, women can be bitches.
You know, this is what I don't understand, you females, you. So what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander.
It's fine with me.
Only because there's a goose on the other side.
It's fine with me.
But Tina,
My feeling is, if somebody didn't want to be with me, they wouldn't be with me. If somebody didn't want to be with me, they don't have to play with me. Just don't be with me.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, though, is it? Because people do actually cheat on each other and continue having a relationship with somebody and sleeping with other people.
But here's the thing. Me controlling somebody and me becoming somebody's everything is not solving that situation. It's putting more weight in my life. And you know, if they're going to cheat, I'm not going to spend time worrying about it. If I catch them cheating, it's over.
On the flip side, I don't want to make my partner feel uncomfortable.
And that's why I say
feel insecure. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you. I am a disaster in a relationship. I'm selfish. I think I'm right about everything. And I don't think I do a very good job of making somebody feel secure, and I'm trying to do better. You know, it's hard to change your ways, and I think we all act out from baggage that we hold in the past. But, you know, you can only do better. But I want my partner, my woman, to feel completely secure in my love. And, you know, if she's insecure about, or not even insecure, but if something doesn't feel right to her, I don't know, it would have to be, I'm against being friends with your exes, because I think mostly it's rare that it's strictly platonic where you're not harboring feelings. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'd want to picture my girlfriend hanging out with some man who she had sex with at one time, and I don't think she'd want to picture me with some woman that at one time I was in bed with.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to picture
it.
But
out of respect for your partner, you would not do that. You wouldn't hang out with them alone. There's no reason why you can't be friends with them. But if I'm in a relationship and I'm friends with my exes, say I want to go hang out with my ex, I would certainly want my current boyfriend.
Okay, so Tina, you're saying you wouldn't hang out with them alone.
I've done it.
No,
I don't have a problem.
All right, well that sounds reasonable.
But out of respect for whoever my boyfriend is, I wouldn't do that to be with them alone. But like Lisa said before, these exes they defined who I am.
But nobody should define you. Nobody should.
No, as a whole. And there's moments. Wait, Paula, we were talking about. Yeah, not only people, but moments. People and moments. They define us. They are who makes us who we are today. You know, and the people that we meet from here on make us who we are tomorrow. So I think that
I just don't get the friendships with the exes. It's like they're part of your past. Leave it in the past.
Okay, Julie, I'm not willing to do that. Go ahead, Julie.
Most exes, it's true. but some of them are different.
I
Some
have
of
to
them are
disagree.
different.
In my life, most exes are there for keeps. Go ahead, Julie.
Well, maybe that's why you're single, booby.
I'm alright with it. I'm single by choice. I'm cool with it. Go ahead, Julie.
Paula, you were saying earlier that when you start dating somebody that you want them to accept your friend or don't date me.
Yes.
But now you're saying that you don't think that.
Well, let me, Julie, you mean right.
You've already got a friendship with your ex. Do you see what I mean?
Well, you're right, and you know what? I'll be honest. You're right, Julie. That's a very good point. Very good point. But here's the thing, and thank you for bringing that up. Actually, my friends, none of my friends that I'm close to are my exes. And if I've had, hold on one second, guys. Hush, Motzi, be quiet. Don't tweet if you don't play. But there are some exes that if I talk to them once a year, it's a lot. But I don't desire. It's not like I hang out with them. And if I was in a relationship and my partner felt uncomfortable about it for good reason, then I would have no problem getting them out of my life. I want to make the person I'm with feel secure and feel assured. And I date secure women. It's not like I date clingy, needy women. They're very secure and independent in their own right. But you know what? I have to make sure that I'm respecting them. And sometimes there are boundaries that are plundered when you're friends with your exes, like tripping down memory lane and seeing them. Like I like what Tina said when she said, out of respect for her partner, she wouldn't see them alone. I think that's a good practice. But again, nothing's black and white, so I guess it's person to person, Julie. So I can't really make those.
And that's true.
I can't really make those.
Because if you've already established a friendship with your ex, and then you meet somebody who you really like, then you can't expect the new partner to say, I don't want you to see that. It might be your best friend now. Like Benny was saying, he is now her best friend. It would be unreasonable for a new partner to come along and say, you can't see that person just because you went out with each other.
Julie, you're right. You're right.
Absolutely. I'm all for relationships are, they should inspire somebody, not stifle somebody. And all these rules that come with them, first of all, no fucking rules. You tell the truth. You don't cheat. We take it from there. If you could do that, I could do that with you. As far as going out and doing, dancing or something, or that I'm not up to. I certainly don't want the person sitting in bed or sitting and doing something that they don't want to do just to wait for me to finish with what I'm doing for the day. I don't want to. I'll catch up. We'll catch up, but I don't want to stifle somebody, and I'm not going to be stifled because of somebody. And I guess you got to be pretty strong to go out with me, because I'm just a person, and I have my good days, I have my bad days, and they'll feel secure in the love that I give them, but not in the things that they can or cannot do. That comes from within them. That's my feeling about it. And I've had people that can't handle that. I've had people that Paula has spoken about that want to move in. 3 days later they're talking about, wow, you got that spare room. Yeah, it's called spare room. Belongs to spare. I don't, and I'm all right with that. I'm obviously much happier that way than feeling stifled when I walk through the door because I'm not ready to be in that situation. I don't want to be made to be somebody. I am somebody. So I'd like to think that there's somebody out there that, feels as secure. That's what it is. You got to be secure with who you are, and the fact that, there isn't anybody like me. There's nobody like any of us that are here on the panel. There's nobody like anybody else in this world. And when somebody finds that specialness in you, that's not so easily replaceable. And I think that you got to give credit to your partners and trust the fact that they find something in you that maybe somebody else has overlooked and that's why they want to be with you. And you have to have confidence in yourself that you do that. But Tina, you had your hand up.
Well, like Jenny was saying, not Jenny, Julie was saying, sorry. Julie was saying before, like if you're already best friends with an ex, and then you meet somebody new, if the new person is expecting you to stop being friends with them, well, sorry, it's not going to happen. But it's your responsibility to make your new boyfriend or new whoever, it's your responsibility to make sure that they are secure in your relationship so that they're secure enough with you being friends with an ex. And don't keep anything from them. Be honest with them. Tell them when you're talking to them. Tell them when you're, you know, I would
Oh
never
yeah,
do that.
don't try to make them jealous, or don't try to cause a react. Don't try to do something that provokes a reaction that you want. Paula's got her hand up.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. You know, when people get upset with each other and they're fighting and they're just saying crazy things, and I've done it many a time. Well, I'll throw out a barb to get somebody jealous or to purposely make them feel on his shirt. And I've had a woman do it to me. And the problem is, you never can take back words.
That's right.
And what ends up happening is you can make comments about a friend of yours and try to get somebody jealous, and then you can't expect them to forget that. And the thing is, if you've made sexual innuendos to that person to try to get your partner jealous, then they're not going to be cool with you being friends with them. And you know, it could be just a game, but you got to be very careful because then you're kind of screwing yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
But why would you do that? I mean, I'm trying to understand why you would, instead of just dealing with a problem, whatever the problem would be, why would you provoke?
Well, I had somebody tell me, Lisa, I just said that to get to you because I knew it would bother you at the time. I knew it would, it would get you, and she was right. She knew exactly how to push my buttons, but I was being a real prick to her first. You understand? I might not have been doing the same thing. It's like she's very smart, and she knows how to push my buttons. The thing is, I might not have been. I don't tend to say things like that, but I can be equally as venomous and mean. So to get me, she threw that in. But the thing is, now you can't expect me to not have an issue with this person, you know?
Right.
So
So I think we cause sometimes I believe that if you do things like that, then you're going to cause your own insecurities. I mean, if
Lisa, the thing is, like elephants never forget, right?
Right.
If somebody says something really hurtful that cuts you to the core 20 years ago, are you ever going to forget that?
No, we tend to remember. Yes.
Unfortunately, I wish I could just wash my brain and forget it, but you can't. We're human. You can't.
Okay.
That's why we have to be so careful about what we say, even in anger.
Absolutely, Julie, you're right.
And I suppose even to spend time apart from each other and come back together when you're feeling cooler, and then maybe you can talk about things more logically and rationally.
Julie, you're right. I have said the most vicious things, and I'm trying to do better because there's no excuse for it, and especially to somebody that I love so dearly.
Yeah, it's so easy to hurt people that we love. That's such a cliche, isn't it? But
it's true, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're back on. So anyway, I don't have anything else to add for this week. Does anybody have anything else to add for this week?
Just to take care of each other, that's all. When you're communicating with anyone in any relationship, to remember that the other person is a human being with feelings and has been through as much shit as you have, and to try to remember that when you're dealing with them.
Absolutely. And that we're responsible for our words. We're definitely responsible for our words, but I don't think anybody's responsible for carrying my past baggage. That's my job to go through. It's my job to unpack and go through. And I've done that. I don't think that, somebody should be responsible to fix the errors of other people in my life. And I gotta say, looking back, they haven't made so many errors. other people in my life, so I shouldn't be carrying baggage. Paula has her hand up.
Lisa, what you just said so resonated with me, but I hate to break it to you, sweetheart. We all pay for the baggage of past relationships that the other people were in. We are all the benefactors of the pain that they carry into our relationships.
I think that there's people that actually do work and don't run from one relationship to another and actually do unpack their baggage.
It's got nothing. It's Lisa. It's got nothing. I don't necessarily think it's relationship hopping. I just think when somebody gets really hurt or really destroyed in a previous relationship, that can change them, and they come to you with that. And you know what? The thing is, you should never have to pay for somebody else's baggage, but we do, ultimately.
A lot of it's unconscious, isn't it? I suppose. So,
Julie?
A lot of it is unconscious.
Yes.
So they may not even realise that they're still suffering with that, but it just comes out in their behaviour.
Right, absolutely, because it's always been a rule of thumb to me that if I am still in love with somebody, even though the relationship has ended, and I know Tina can attest to this for me, even if the relationship has ended, if I'm still in love, my heart isn't open for somebody else. So I need to, that's why I said, I don't jump from one person to another person. I always take enough time to figure out, well, what happened here? What did they mean to me? To actually, because these people do define you. And, so that I could fix myself and make myself as whole as possible. And then when, I have it in my heart to love again, that it's there. And yes, maybe I have changed through things that have happened, but that goes on in life, not just with exes. It goes on with people and in life. And of course it changes you, and maybe it makes you more attractive to one person than another. And to me, it honestly puts more of a gray area where it's not so black and white. Because I've been confused by loving two people at one time, and I've made mistakes in the past. So I try to remember that nobody's perfect and that we can only do the best we can. But Paula had her hand up.
I love somebody with two personalities. Does that count? No, but seriously, Lisa, I think like every experience that we have, good or bad, can change us.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, let's just say you're cheated on by a lot, like almost every relationship, you're deceived or cheated on. You can't tell me the next one you go into, you're going to be suspect of things, and you're going to almost read into things because you're so scared, because if you never saw it coming the first time. You know what I'm saying? So
well, here's the thing. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, here's the thing. If every one of my exes cheated on me, I'd have to think at this point, maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was something I was putting out there. So I definitely would have to think, well, the common denomination here is me. What is it that I'm doing? And wait a minute, let me finish. And if I, like you said, you had a bad habit of saying nasty things. Well, if I was doing that, I would say, well, I'm probably making this person, I'm pushing this person away. So what do I have to do?
Well, I know, Lisa, look, I get when somebody cheats, obviously there's problems in the relationship or they're a nymphomaniac, one of the two. But the thing is, if you're so miserable that you're gonna have an affair, tell the person.
Absolutely, like I said, they could always leave. There are no locks on my door. Jenny had her hand up.
But Lisa, you know what's funny? And not every woman has cheated on me. But the funny thing is, I've dated like 80% straight women, 20% gay women. Almost all the gay women cheated. None of the straight ones did.
Well, Jenny had her hand up. Jenny.
Well, I was going to say that cheating doesn't necessarily mean that the person is miserable. I mean, that's an assumption that's based on the idea that everyone is monogamous, and some people are not prepared to be monogamous. And if I mean, you know, that's obviously a conversation that every couple should have. But
Jenny, you're right. But then Tina made a point. Then why be in a relationship?
Well, that's exactly. But that's what she said. That's something that they need to talk about.
well, can I tell you something true?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, please.
When Vicky and I first got together, I really had no concept of what monogamy was all about. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
yes, you talked about it before.
I was not at all interested in telling everybody else that I was not available. That doesn't mean that I needed to go out and have sex with other people, but I did not want to make a promise that locked me down forever and said nobody else could ever have me again. That to me was scary. That to me was like closing the gates and suffocating me and saying now you're stuck and you can never get out again. And you know, every time Vicky wanted me to make that promise, I felt the sudden urge to go out and have sex with somebody else just because, you know, that would prove that I didn't have to. You know, I wasn't stuck. And, you know, I actually had serious problems with this for a very long time. And Vicky is a very monogamous person by nature. And I am very not a monogamous person by nature. And you
Anti-monogamy.
Yes. And you can say, well, how did you two manage to stay together? And the thing is, Vicky didn't give up. She, and of course, I never lied either. You know, I never said, oh, well, this didn't happen, because, you know,
And I gotta tell you something, Jenny. In all fairness, you know, I give the credit for my relationships to my partners because it was because of them that we stuck together. With the exception of the last one, that was more equal. But it was always because they gave more, and I said that from the get-go. I was loved more than I loved. But Paula, you were gonna say something?
No, I just think, Jenny, I really applaud your relationship. I think it sets the bar. I say rock on to you and your partner.
Yeah, I gotta tell you this though. I believe in monogamy, but you know, I don't think I ever once believed that person, that partner was gonna be my partner forever, because I've never really pictured myself older with or without somebody. So I didn't, you know, you live in the moment. Julie, you're a big fan of living in the moment. You know, you live in the moment and you make the moment count. And if each moment becomes another day, another month, another year of a relationship that you're sharing with somebody, I don't think it's all got to be talked about and written about. It's something that you kind of do, you know?
I agree, but you have to take care of the other person as well. And if they have an expectation that they want you to make more of a commitment, then, you know, maybe if you don't want that, then maybe there's something that you need to have a conversation about. You know, you have to take care of them, don't you? And their feelings.
Yes, if you share your life with somebody and you make that commitment, I don't know that you got to take care of their feelings. I really just don't like any of those, any of that language. I suppose I just don't like any of that language. But let me say this. I see your hand up, Paula. I think that, you know, you're responsible for making their life as wonderful as you can, but without any great expectations that you could fix the world or that you could fix everything that happens in their life. You know.
But I'm with Julie. Lisa, let me just say, I'm with Julie. She's a right on, sister. The things you've said, I think you're brilliant. You've said such wise things. Seriously, good for you. Yeah, Lisa,
You're trying to get me to marry you.
Oh, yes.
I was just going to say, because love is blind, Paula.
Right, come on. I mean, Lisa, when you're with somebody, I'm not saying, you know, you're going to, you know, take care of, you know, be there, you know, in a clingy, you know, codependent way, but you want to make sure that you're nurturing their soul. Isn't that?
Yeah, no, I think that that's fine. Absolutely, yes. Yes, but I cannot fix everything, and I am not the go-to person for every single problem.
But wait a minute. Let me just ask you something, okay? And Jenny just kind of touched on this. She said V had patience and they sort of worked through things. Now, this is my opinion, and I'm not saying everybody shares this, but when I love somebody, look, nobody's perfect. Everybody comes with something. They all come with baggage. If you love somebody, you know, and you see that they're worth it, you know, sometimes you have to be patient, and I don't have a problem helping them fix things too, as long as I feel that they're vested and they love me, because we're all, you know, we're here to fix each other and nurture each other and make each other great. It's all about togetherness.
You know what, Paula? And I don't have any problem with that. I guess I have a problem with the labeling and the paperwork that comes with that comes with it all. Listen, I had a partner who went through the ups and downs, and I went through those ups and downs with her. I shouldn't be the one trying to improve her life more than her. It shouldn't be more important to me to improve her life. When I found that it was more, wait a minute. When I found that it was more important and I was working more on improving her life than she was, no, I don't want to be that for somebody.
I just wanted, this is really important to me.
Go ahead.
Okay? What if you're dating somebody who has mental illness and you have to be their rock and carry them through when they can't carry themselves? That's what love is about. God forbid you're with somebody that gets sick. You might have to take care of them when they can't take care of themselves. That's what love is about. If that's not love, then I don't know what is.
You know what, Paula? And if something like that happened and I was with somebody and they were a partner and we were sharing our life together, I would take care of that. If I just met somebody who had mental illness and I saw the red flags to it, I would say, you know what? I don't want to deal with that right now in my life.
Right.
That person's not for me. And I know my boundaries. But I know my boundaries now.
But mental illness, that's just like saying somebody's epileptic and you don't want to deal with it. How do you know that person isn't the most brilliant, amazing soul on the earth and they're just having a bad time in their life?
Well, here's the thing. I don't date. I get to know somebody. So I would think that I would get to know them. I'm a person that takes a long time getting to know, I was told, as well as getting to know somebody. Because people can be complex. I don't fall in love in a week. I don't fall in love in a month. I fall in love over a course of time. And then I might not act on it right away. I might not know that person well enough. So I want to get to know them more. And if somebody's pushing me to go in a direction I don't want to go in, then it's over anyway. So I think it's two-sided. And what I'm saying is, I don't want to be it all. If I'm sharing my life with somebody, we're doing it together. But they still have their life and their peripherals as well as me. And I'm not stifling theirs, and I don't want mine to be stifled. Yes, there are cases when somebody has a shit day, you might be doing something, you see your partner suffering, you stop what you're doing to make them feel better. Yeah, that's fine. But if that's my sole purpose every day, they need somebody else because I can't do it. But Jenny, you had your hand, Julie, you had your hand up.
I think that love is seeing something beautiful in another person and wanting to be with them and wanting to cherish them just as much as you cherish yourself, and to want to spend time with them because of the beautiful things that they are, rather than getting caught up on all the things that they're not, that they don't tick the box.
Absolutely.
And it's as simple
I
as that.
love it, Julie.
Absolutely.
I'm a great Juliaism. Perfect.
Otherwise, it's just, you know, yearning after how can they make me
Oh
happy?
my gosh.
And that you just then
Get
into
over
all
it.
sorts of problems, because if you give somebody else your happiness to look after, they're not going to do that for you.
Bingo! Bingo! And that's what you know what, you said it. And that's what I mean about, you know, that I don't want to be that responsible. Don't give me your life and expect me to make it all better for
And
you.
that's not what I was talking about when I was talking about wanting to be somebody that they think of as their significant other. It's not my job to make somebody happy, and it's not their job to make me happy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My own happiness. But when I think of that person, I'm just like, yeah, you know, and they think of me like that. Like,
Well, isn't that's the thing that makes it all so special, isn't it? Because like I said during a break, yeah, you know, when they weren't around, I would think about them and say, oh, that person, you know, they're my partner. And I'd like for them to think the same thing. Not to wonder what I'm doing, if I'm doing something wrong, and for me not to wonder that either. So it is our jobs to make the other person feel like we're getting something from them that we can't get from somebody else. I mean, so, you know, you got to take care of that, obviously. And that, but it's not making somebody everything. No desire to make somebody, no desire for that for me. So is there anything else we'd like to say on this week's show? Okay, then everybody can say goodbye on this week's show. Say goodbye.